Hey, YouTube, I'm back. Another sharing a six pack with Metal Man is Geoff. Got a bunch of CDs. I got a lot of stuff I'm getting through, so there's going to be a bunch of these. And, if I'm messing up your feed, sorry. By the way, I'm wearing this cap, this Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon cap that was sent to me by one Ricardo Contreras, which is Mr. Dreadful Minutes. And he sent me this cap, and this is the first time I put it on. I don't wear baseball caps hardly ever. So, Rick, I'm going to give this to my daughter because she loves Pink Floyd, and I never wear baseball caps, but I wanted to wear it for you to show it off. And I've been forgetting and neglecting to show something that was given to me. What the hell did I do with it? Oh, you got to be kidding me. What the hell did I do with it? Ah, there it is. There it is. There it is. This was a gift to me by Rick. I want to say back in April, I think it was, he sent this, and I was totally blown away. Finally started reading it, finally. This is, hopefully you can see that. It looks backwards to me, but I think it's right side to you guys. So this is Goblin, the 7 Notes in Red. It's kind of the history of Goblin, and this is the revised version, which I never even knew this was out there. It showed up in a package Rick sent me with a bunch of other stuff, and I'm like, whoa, because he knows I love Goblin. I don't know where he found it. I think he found it at a local shop down there in Philly, which is kind of where he lives, sort of, kind of. Don't go stalking him. Anyway, or maybe he'd like you to stalk him. I don't know. Anyway, Goblin, 7 Notes in Red. But what was really crazy about this thing, and this thing is killer, man. I mean, it's just chock full of amazing shit and history on the band. And what was cool about this was that, or what I didn't know about it, and Rick clued me into, he's like, hey, look that up online to see if you can find it. Well, the first thing was nobody had it. I couldn't find it anywhere. There was a hardbound edition. I think it was very limited to like only 1,000 or 1,500 copies, something like that. And I believe this came out about 4 years ago, I want to say. But this actually has a revised addendum to it. So I think it's like I think it was 17. And written by Fabio Capuzzo. You try to find this, like I could not find this anywhere that they had it in stock. And then I looked on the secondary market. I think I looked on Amazon. Is where I found a copy of it. 175 smackers. It's like, dude, he's like, I got it for whatever the price was on here. That might have been $20. Rick, correct me on that if I'm wrong. But yeah, Rick, dude, like, I love you, man. Like, not in that way, but you know what I mean. And I love you in that way, but not that way. But you get what I'm saying, man. This is, and I finally started it. It's so good. It's so fucking cool. Love me some Goblin. Okay. We're going to jump into some stuff here. And I had notes written down on these, and I can't find my notes. So I'm just going to wing it. Let's start with Yob Atma. This is which came out, I believe, in 2011. This is the reissue that just came out this year. I think it came out late last year on vinyl. But the CD reissue, which I have no idea why it's all fucking cracked like that. Might have come from Amazon that way, I don't remember. But this just came out, I believe, in March or April, the reissue of it. And it has the original version on it, the 2011 version, or 9 version. I forget what year this came out. Was it 9 or 11? Should know this stuff, but I didn't write it down because I'm lazy and whatever. Oh, here we go. Actually, it doesn't say. I believe that's 09 or 11, one of those two. The reissue came out in April. I love the original version. This is my favorite. I like Clearing the Path to Ascend too, but I really love this one. The new version sounds incredible. It's just fucking, I think Steve Albini did it. It's just a fucking amazing album. Yob are one of my favorite bands, and we were going to get her. That's the band that Logan and I were going to do a deep dive on. I got to reconnect with him on that and see whether we can get that done. maybe rope Brian into that one. Brian Arkham. Just insanely heavy, crushing riffs. Stoner sludge doom, kinda, but there's something different about Yob from all those bands to me. There's something very spiritual and connective to the universe. And Mike is I met him. He's one of the most amazing guys I've ever met in my life. Just so real, so appreciative, so generous, so gracious towards his fan base. And just, I think, after what he went through health-wise, I think just grateful to be alive. This album just, oh my God, just prepare the ground and fucking adrift in the ocean. Just devastating. This is a devastating album that is just, if you want to explore stoner doom, but with a twist of what I would call a heavy spirituality, not God, but more the pantheistic view of the universe as a whole, the crushing weight of the universe and the universal questions and stuff. This band just doesn't. I gotta say, seeing these guys live in 2018 with Voivod, out of body experience for me. It was fucking insane. All right, next up, an OG copy with the Obi of Boris. Now, I have a lot of Boris that I need to probably start breaking out or doing a deep dive on, but nobody I know is really into Boris, which kind of sucks. I mean, Rick might have a little bit of it. I'm sure Eric Bauer might have one or two. I'm sure some of the guys in the community might have a Boris CD or two, but I have like most of it. All on CD, but I have like the Japanese versions and the Brazilian versions and I kind of went whole hog crazy on Boris a while back. I've seen him a couple times. Just amazing. This is Flood. It's kind of their ambient. It's kind of like an ambient drift album. It's very, obviously water theme, flood, oceans, whatnot. And by the way, this came out in, I can't see, too tiny, 2000 on Fang's Anal Satan. This is their label, their imprint. And they're also on Sargent House, and there's a label out of South America that they're on. I think they were on Southern Lord. They might have even put some stuff out on Relapse. They put out so much shit. Now, I stopped collecting religiously on these guys probably about 2018 because I just couldn't keep up. And I like their punk stuff, but I don't love it. And they were doing more punk at that time than I was into. But yeah. Boris. We're going to do something really extensive on all the Boris shit that I have soon. Here's one I picked up for $1.50. It might have been $6, something like that. Gerry Rafferty. Came out in 1979, I believe. This is a reissue in 88, but I know that's not when it came out. I'm pretty sure it was 1979. Gerry was the singer of Stealers Wheel. He's passed away, sadly. I think he had some major alcohol problems. Was it 78? This reissue is 88, but I'm 99% sure it was. Yeah, it says 88. I'm 98% sure it was a 77 maybe. I was living in Houston, Texas as a kid. I know that. And I lived there from 76 to 80. So it might have been 76, might have been 77, might have been 78. But I know it was one of those years. And I'm guessing it was 78. But for two songs, oh my God, dude. Baker Street, one of the greatest fucking songs ever. Greatest sax fucking solo ever. One of the greatest guitar solos ever, and just an amazing song, and right down the line. The rest of this album, it's kind of okay, but for those two songs alone, for $3 or $4 or $5, whatever I paid for it, City to City, Gerry Rafferty, fuck yeah. We talked about this just a minute ago, and I snagged it and threw it in here. New England, 1979. I believe it originally came out on was on a big label. I want to say Casablanca. Was it on Casablanca? No, it could have been out on Casablanca. Oh. And Bill LaCoin, who was involved with Kiss, was managing them. I should have wrote that down, damn it. I was kind of sloppy with my preparation for this one. I apologize. I gotta get a lot of stuff done today, and I wanted to get a few of these shot, and I jumped the gun. Originally released by Infinity Records, 1979. So it was probably, I think it was an imprint of Arista, but I'd have to look that up. But man, got this for $6 yesterday. Used. It's the reissue, the 1998 Renaissance reissue. $6. I'll pay it all day for that one song. Don't ever want to lose ya. Don't ever want to lose ya. So fucking good, man. Don't ever want to lose ya. Fucking love that song. And that's one of those songs that I remember exactly where I was at when I first heard it. I was living in Texas, and we were getting ready to move that summer. I remember, like, I was bummed because I was leaving some of my friends, and, you know, I was a big-time Rush fanatic by then, still a Kiss fan, UFO, Jethro Tull, all that stuff. I was really, really, Triumph, super getting into music. Triumph was huge right around then. And this song came on the radio at the pool, in like the community pool in the subdivision I lived in. And man, I fucking was like instantly in love. I had it on... For a long time, you couldn't find it. You just couldn't find it anywhere, like used anywhere. I'm talking about in the 90s and 2000s. You just could not find this thing anywhere. I couldn't anyways. And then when I would find it on eBay back a bunch of years ago, like an original was like $30, $40 for a CD or an album. I'm like, yeah, I love it, but I don't think I want it that bad. And now I kind of regret that. I'd have to look and see what the vinyl's going for, but I'd probably pay $20 for a vinyl. That's just for that song, an original. And but there's other good songs on here, man. Hello is really good. Punk, Punk, Puny Undernourished Kid. Puny Undernourished. That's kind of weird. Turn Out the Light. Shoot, there's a lot of good songs on here. It's very Angel-like. Angel, the band Angel, a little less poppy, a little less pompy, kind of. Because there's not as much keyboards on it regarding that, from that standpoint. But two of these guys, Gary Shea and Butler, is it? Let me see. Gary Shea, Jimmy Waldo, I believe, went on to play with, not Yngwie, a later version of Alcatraz, I think, and also with Graham Bonnet, the singer of Alcatraz, and also Yngwie, and a bunch of Rainbow and stuff like that. And it's just a killer album, man. Fucking, I'm telling you though, check out the song "Don't Ever Want to Lose Ya" by New England. You'll fall in love with it. All right, what else we got here? Red Hash by Gary Higgins. This came out on Drag City in 2011. Again, but this is actually a 1973 album. Gary is kind of like this hippy sort of folk troubadour sort of thing. And I don't know why I picked this up. I think I was in a period where I was buying a lot of stuff from Aquarius Records out in San Francisco, which I think they're gone. RIP. But this came up, and I bought a lot of shit blind buys simply by reading about the description of the music. And this just spoke to me because I was really getting into Camus areas right there. Camus and like some English folk stuff. And, these are all young dudes, young hippies. I think he was from Michigan, I want to say, Or no. Was it Massachusetts or Connecticut? It was New England area, actually, now I think of it. And man, there's some great fucking songs on here. Very hippy dippy. A lot of pot was smoked probably making this album, I'm guessing. A lot of hash probably. And apparently right when this album came out in 73, Gary was busted for for marijuana, but I think it was like he had a large quantity of marijuana on him, and he did 2 years in jail apparently. But Six Organs of Admittance did a cover of the song here called "Roll Thicker Than a Smoky," which is probably the single, the hit song off this album. And I guess when this came out, because of him going to jail, it just sunk into, obscurity pretty quickly. And then Drag City pulled it out of, pulled the rights out and reissued it. And it's got 2 bonus tracks on here. Again, I'm trying to find... I don't know when Drag City put this out. I want to say 13 maybe? 2013, somewhere in that range. Really cool if you like hippie, folky, acidy, sort of jazzy, sort of folky, troubadourish type stuff. It's really, really, really good. Art of Noise. The Seduction of Claude Debussy. It's only Art of Noise I own. And if you know anything about Art of Noise, which I'm guessing most of you probably don't, and probably don't care, but Art of Noise, Trevor Horn, forget the other guy in it. Was it Lol Cream? Is that his name? From Godly and Cream. One of the guys from 10cc, I think, was involved with this. I could be wrong on that point, though. But Trevor Horn was definitely involved in this. Vocalist, producer. This album is fucking amazing. It's, from a sonic standpoint, it's one of the best sounding albums I've ever heard. I can't even really explain their music. It's kind of an amalgam of prog, but not prog at all. Prog from a pop slash orchestral, but not orchestra. We're not talking like oboes and, French horns and shit like that. It's more using a symphony of keyboards, Fairlight, which is a sampler, using samplers, synthesizers, creating like these really pulsating rhythms, and it's fucking amazing shit, man. It is just, God, I love this album, man. It's so good. I haven't listened to it in a while. I need to do that. It has a bonus CD, which I hate to say. I don't even know what the hell it is. It doesn't say on here. Oh, it's Metaforce was the single off here, I guess. And there are 4 different remixes. Roni Size does one. No, does 2, actually. Rhythm Masters does one, and then there's the regular one. And man, there's just, this thing has like 9 gazillion contributors to it. Just a million different, the write-ups in here are crazy. I want to see if there's... Yeah, there's so much in here to digest as far as who contributed this album. I don't even know. It's like crazy. And you can see, like here, these are all samples that were used from extracts of other songs. And Trevor Horn's like the master producer, man. Apparently he's just, Steve Wilson worked with him. He said just there's nobody like him on earth. He listens, he makes changes, doesn't even tell you, and you listen back and you're like, oh, yeah, why didn't I do that in the first place? Like, his ear is so incredible as far as production. But yeah, Art of Noise, like I said, that's the only one I own. And they've got several. And they had a really big sort of hit in the early 80s. And if you know Trevor Horn, Trevor Horn's the Buggles dude. Him and Jeff Downes were the Buggles. And they were also in Yes for the 1980 album. Yeah. What's the name of it? Drama. So, anyway, I kind of made a bunch of announcements earlier, and that's another 6-pack for today, and I'll have a couple more to post in the coming days. Stop back if you want to see more of my collection. All right?